Welcome back, everyone. Today I have another video. Today we have the first place at North Carolina tournament for Fusion, Andrew Duval, and I also got the same list. We're playing the same list. I got top 16 with this list too. So we know and also Eric also got top third place.
Yeah, he got top 4.
Yeah, so he was playing almost all the same cars. I think he was playing one different car. But yeah, so we play this matchup a lot, and we decided, well, of course, it's TopKu, because we try every other deck against it. We really tried to play something else that wasn't TopKu. We didn't want to play the mirror all day. But this is a tier 0 deck, so we had to, it's not possible to not play this one. So let's go to the deck profile.
Alright, so we play, I'm going to start backwards, I guess. So I'll do the extra cards first. We play 2 God Kamehamehas. This is pretty good in every matchup, so it just kills anything. Literally anything you could think of with the minus effects dies to this, so it's just really versatile. Good for killing Awakeners, good for killing boss monsters, just good at any point in the curve. Like anytime your opponent's ahead, you can just be like, okay, let me take away the tempo from you, spend my turn removing your board, and just keep it neutral. Very good card for me. 3 Glimpse, this is just your kill card, searchable off of your Basil, so just really good. You use this with Ribrianne to basically finish every single game, your double striker. Kind of idea is like you want to use either this to poke them to 1, or if they go to 2 willingly, then you can use this on the Ribrianne to kill them. It's also really strong with Roshi because it allows you to push extra. You can go Roshi, take a life. It's basically free to play the Roshi, so you can get like another 10k off of life when you're going for game to push. And if you, one thing is also like 2 of these is insane. So, you know, 5 energy in the mirror is like winning. It becomes brutal if they have 2 of these. So.
3 was the right number for us. I think 4 is too many at that point.
Yeah, 4 is too many. I think 3 is the right number. It's searchable. You don't want too many because sometimes you're on the receiving end of the double strike for game, and
you don't have too many breaks.
Yeah, you don't want to have too many breaks. Like you can leave up 2 energy for this defensively, which I did do several times. And just kind of be like, okay, let's keep it settled. I'm ahead right now. I don't want to try to defend a double strike because I don't have enough super combos. We play 4 super combos.
That's it, super combo.
Just hope to draw them. Hope to draw them because they'll save you. At least in the mirror. And every other matchup, who cares? 3 Ribrianne. Just want to have the double strike. It's a 10k, so it's fine. You can combo it off early and then add it back off the Glimpse. So you can be like, play swing with my guy, go to like 50 with like a Goku, add back the Ribrianne. Now you know what's happening, but good luck. You know, you still have to out combo it. So
yeah, correct.
Really strong. For Kefla, the broken card of the deck, it's what makes the deck viable, honestly, because going neg on the leader to play a 3-drop most of the time isn't good enough. But this one replaces itself, gives you 2 bodies, it's a 10k. It just does way too much. 25k, like it's just too much for 1 card. I think it's okay in other red decks. It gives them a lot of like game against a lot of other decks, because other decks also got stronger. But in this deck, especially on 5 energy and like a grindier matchup, just being able to like repeatedly go this plus another one,
plus this and another
14 energy worth of cards, and it's just draw my entire deck, replace itself, draw into my next one. It just is like an unbelievable waves of pressure, so this card's definitely a problem. At least in this deck. 2 Gohan, yeah, just good in the mirror. Helps you clear their board.
And also in the other matchups, like they can clear all 1-drops. You can clear.
If your opponent, like, it's good against red if they just want to go like peel off. It's good against yellow if they want to go like Genyus and Bulmas. Like any deck that tries to like play a bunch of 1-drops just gets super punished by this, which is a reason why I didn't play too many 1-drops in my list, because then you're just playing into this card even harder. So it's just like I didn't want to get too blown out, because you can just, yeah, this guy can like 4 for 1 mute. So this one is really good. A blocker. Blockers, there's no negates in this game, so if your opponent's in a position to threaten a big double strike on you or be able to go for game, they have to deal with the blocker first, which usually the only like good out to this 25k with a reasonable amount of energy is the God Kamehameha. So if you don't have that, you're probably not going to be able to kill me through that turn. So then you could just play it off the Kefla. It's searchable. It's a 10k. I love my situational cards to be 10ks. So worst case, you know, I have it there. And it's great in the neutral game. Like you don't got anything better to do, turn it 3. I play this.
They have to deal with it, yeah.
Eventually it's going to come up. Like he's going to block an attack, your last attack, or he's just going to be there so you can't kill me with a double strike. Catapesla, same thing, kind of like the Gohan, but a little bit, you know, weaker. But it's again a situational 10K.
Yeah, it's a name.
Down, just helps you clear boards sometimes. Nothing too great with this guy. This guy was MVP in the mirror, I think. It's an Awakener, which you need more of. It kills their Awakener, which is great. Because now that's like, it solves two problems at once. It gets you closer to Awakening, gets rid of their Awakener, and then it's a 25K body, which is like the sweet spot for the mirror, because he can't kill himself unless you have like a Whis on board or a minusing effect on board. So they usually stick the 25Ks. The 3 Keflas, could be 4. This card's very good, just as like the neutral gameplay. A lot of times in the mirror, you're going to be in a position where you play first Kefla, there's nothing to remove, so you don't really want to play a Gohan. Android 17 is great, but you don't want to attack yet. So playing this one feels good because you just get to draw 2 cards, leave up 20K worth of combo in case they do awaken and try to go for game. And then you just have this. Basically, it's like a mini super combo. I think Eon put it well. Like it's a draw 10K. So
yeah,
it feels really good. Exactly. This guy just really good at removing boards. He's okay in the mirror, depending on how the game state goes. You can use him to awaken as well. He pressures really hard, and he's exceptional in all the other matchups.
Yeah, he's mostly for the other matchups,
because
honestly.
all you really want to do is deal with the opponent's board in other matchups, because that's the only way that they're going to beat you is by board. And if you can clear their board, then they have there's no outs.
I think this could be like the problem for the deck, this card.
Yeah, maybe if
it's like what impedes the other colors to compete.
Yeah, because you could like slowly build a board with other colors if it wasn't for that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one not very good in the mirror, not very good against blue, which is all I played against. So
yeah,
you could actually cut this to 2 and like play 4 of the Goku, but the other matchups that it's good in, it's really really strong.
Yeah, especially
there are
Cell.
Also times where in the mirror like things stall out. The only problem is if you play this early, they can swing into your leader and then you don't take damage. So now you're giving them free cards. Like if you're trying to play like we're gonna get to like this, like I'm gonna play it super slow, not take my own life, I'm just gonna develop bodies, force you to push first, you're gonna awaken me, I have Beerus as a backup. Like this card is letting them hit into you and draw cards, and then that's kind of weird. So I don't like playing it early. But sometimes on the awakening turn, if I don't have the Kefla, it's like the perfect one that I can do, like if I awaken first, as like in a neutral game state, and they might not awaken the next turn. I usually start my opponent at 5, if I can. If they're at 4, I just attack, but if they're at 5, I'll play this, Kefla into this, leave this up. Then the next turn I play a second one. Now I can play like a slower game, because I know that they have to deal with this before they try to push for game, or unless they're kind of crazy. So that's when it can be good.
Yeah, late game is decent. Early game they're really bad, actually.
It being a 0K is a little rough. 1 Caulifla, it was just like, in my opinion, the worst card that I had in the deck. It's not bad though. Crit pressure can be nice, but the weird thing in the mirror is like sometimes you just really don't want to turn these cards sideways. So it's like, okay, she'll take a life. She's basically a 20K at that point. That takes a life. Doesn't deal with my opponent's board. Like I'm not getting immediate value. Like yeah, I'll crit you a life, but I don't really want to attack you with this card because I don't have to. So it's a 1-of. I think it's fine. It actually comes up sometimes to get them like from 4 to 3. Feels good with that card. Hit is really important because it deals with Roshi. So although you have to turn this one sideways, it's kind of neutral because you take a life, they take a life every time you turn him sideways. If they don't deal with him, you get to take another life, and he deals with their Roshi, which is their way of continuously taking life as well. Also, they leave this one on board, and then they play like a Goku and kill something else. He can connect the Goku. Usually the Goku kills him though, but you know, that can come up. This guy, really good going second, exceptional going second. If your opponent leads with Roshi, which is what you want to mulligan for going first, that's kind of like your only like really good play going first. That keeps you in the game because you're just naturally behind going second. But if you have turn 1 Roshi, you're in a good spot going first. So if you have this going second in response to the Roshi, really, really good. It also gets stuff into range. For the same reasons that hit -5 can be good, this can help your Goku kill their Goku, as it'll put it into range. So, and it just sticks there. A 10K body is not that easy to remove unless they commit something. It will get wiped away by the Gohan though. So that's why I didn't want to play too many and like focus on that strategy. You know, he got charged a lot when I went first and stuff because I didn't really have time for him. But second, he was really good when I had him in the mulligan. This one, self-explanatory, really broken, like actually too good. But it's solid that red has a good going first card. They want to be aggressive. They should have an Awakener. I don't think this card was a problem set 1, and I think, you know, I don't think it's a problem set 2. It's just this deck is really strong when it awakens, so it's like you have to answer this card or you lose. And then finally for Basil, just a searcher for everything in the deck.
AKA Khalifa.
Yeah. Basically, search me a Kefla, and if I already have my Kefla, it usually searches me the Ribrianne or the Glimpse. But yeah, that's pretty much the deck. The main things I would say about the mirror. So going first first things first, you win the die roll or lose the die roll. I think it's safer to go second because it allows you to have more answers to what your opponent is doing. So it gives you more flexibility and more consistent, but there is merit to going first. I still think you should go second if you win the die roll. But going first, you're basically hard mulliganing for, at least this is in the mirror, you're hard mulliganing for Master Roshi. Master Roshi on 1, it forces your opponent already to answer a question, right? So they need 1-drop Whis, they need God Kamehameha, or they need to coin out their energy marker out the hip, right? So that already forces them into a difficult position where they have to answer this card, or you're just going to get a lot of tempo, awaken by turn 3, and then maybe they're going to be able to stall you out, right? So that's going to be what you want to avoid. So you want to get rid of the Roshi, right? Going second. But going first, you want a hard mulligan for Roshi. No other card really matters. I mean, it does, but like you need Roshi for anything else to actually make sense, right? So that already pushes you into a tough spot, but it is a 4-of, and you have two looks at it, basically.
So if you play out the early curve, how it's supposed to go for both players, is Roshi on 1 going first, and then the second opponent has an option. Well, if they have Whis, perfect answer, and then they have to decide whether to attack with the leader or not, going second. What's your opinion on that?
If they didn't play Roshi, you're free to swing. If they did play Roshi, you should hold out on 1 turn of swinging.
Okay.
Even if you have an answer to the Roshi.
Even if you have the answer to the Roshi.
If you don't have the answer to the Roshi, they're going to awaken on turn 3. You might as well attack anyways.
Correct. And then if you have the hit as the coin out for the Roshi, what's the protocol there?
Do it. If this is your only answer to it, you do it. It doesn't feel great, but it is more important to get rid of this and force them to have their own hit or something to deal with your hit, okay? So it is always correct to do it. If your opponent has their own hit, there's 2 ways that they can play it. So this would be turn 2 now, right? So this is turn 1.
Correct.
This is basically what's going to happen. If turn 1 opponent doesn't lead on Roshi, it's a very good chance that they just have lost the game. But things have to go very well. Probably at that point they have to stall the game and hope to like make a mistake or stumble somewhere, or maybe rely on the 3-drop Goku to catch them back up. But it's probably going to be too slow. So you really need this card going first. So going second, let's say you did hit. A hit is going to come back at you most of the time. So they'll either go swing with leader into your hit to get a card, and then swing hit into hit. Now here you have a decision. If you have 3-drop Goku, you always let hit die. If you don't have 3-drop Goku, it might be worth defending the hit and throwing a 10k. If they swing with this one first, you obviously always let it die, and then the leader has to swing into your leader if they want value. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how that turn goes.
Yeah.
And then turn 3 is just this guy.
It's always the pretty much if you have the Goku.
And then obviously at any point in time, this comes up if you don't have an answer to anything. So turn 2, if they have a hit and you don't have anything, you just kill the hit. Turn 3, they killed your thing, you don't have anything, you kill their Goku, right? So this is just the catch-all. Like at any point in time, it just kills whatever they did.
So from here is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, from here
you just play out the mirror.
It opens out the mirror, yeah.
Like if your opponents have 5 life, I suggest not attacking them, just stalling a turn, see what they're gonna do. You don't want to put them to 4, you want them to put themselves to 4, and then you start attacking them because that gives you the most value or kind of tempo in the matchup, and it forces them to have X amount of cards to awaken first. If they're at 4 life, I always attack. I'm not trying to like be like, show me the last awakener. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. They almost certainly will have it. The chances are they will have it. The deck has a lot of awakeners, so don't do that. Just swing when they're at 4. But at 5, it is more complicated, right? Because they'll need at least a Roshi sometimes to like actually be able to awaken on 4. Like on 3, the only way is double Roshi, which is like super unlikely. On 4, they need Roshi plus another 2-drop awakener, which if they already used one and they might have already used a Roshi, is not super likely. So that's fine, right? Leave them at 5. Force them to go through the motions and do their plays, and then once they're at 4, you know they're gonna have to go to 4, right? If not, they're just gonna keep getting stalled out, and their turn is gonna be awkward because they don't want to have to play Awakeners at that point in the game.
Well, now let's talk about the mid game when we're going for game, because the game shouldn't really go past turn 5, honestly.
Right. So there's another interesting thing that we noticed in the mirror. The first person to 5 energy has the double glimpse turn. So generally, how the mirror goes, at some point, this is going to be the end game, I guess. Which is, it's pretty simple, but instead of playing for board, which is not a bad idea either, right? Sometimes you have the hand that plays for board, sometimes you have the hand that just says, I'm gonna kill you, right? Most of the time it's, I'm gonna kill you. The reason for that is simply because going second, the person going second has such a, how do I say?
Hand advantage.
Hand advantage, correct. Has such an advantage that on their 4 energy turn, and if they got to keep the marker, they're gonna super kill you. But usually they use the marker on this guy, right, on turn 2. So what's gonna end up happening is they're gonna go for it with some type of Roshi, unless you have some way of stopping it, they're gonna go for it with the Roshi Glimpse Ribrianne turn, and you have to be ready to defend that, right? So there's 2 ways to defend that. You're going second, you're going first, so you probably have 4 energy, so you can make your play and then leave up your own glimpse, so leave up 2 energy defensively, right? If you don't do that, I am 100% just going to go for game on turn 4. Show me all your super combos. Because the problem is, if I let you go to a turn 5, I'm afraid of double glimpse. Like, then I have to deal with this, right?
That's really difficult to deal with.
Because what happens a lot of times in the mirror is we're just going to try to poke each other down to 2, right? So until you get to 2, like, everything can kind of turn sideways. It's like, okay, a little bit, you know, free. But what's going to end up happening is, a lot of times, the board state is just going to be, we're going to do this nonsense, right? We're going to draw 2 cards, and then we're going to try to do this draw 2 card nonsense. And then we just don't turn these sideways. Because if you don't turn these sideways, it's hard to die, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, do you really want to go to, you're going first, you have less cards than me, and I have 20k standing on board, right?
And the opponent has to make a decision at the point.
And the opponent connect 1 damage.
And the opponent has to make a decision at that point, whether they want to clear your board a little bit, but that puts them down in cards in hand, and that doesn't draw them hand. So they're putting themselves at risk of dying.
As soon as you start throwing these guys on board, that's fancy and all, but then I know if you do like a turn like this, you cannot kill me this turn. So I can just take my life freely and try to kill you the next turn. And you've discarded
3 cards.
2 cards. You know, you have to replace yourself, right? So it's like you're losing hand advantage there. Sometimes you have super combos and you're just like, yeah, I'm not gonna die anyways, and you can just play that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you get lucky and draw all the super combos, then you're in a great spot. But sometimes you don't. So the reason I don't like to let my opponent get to 5 energy is because the double glimpse turn with some amount of standing creatures is just very difficult to defend. Because they're going to swing like 25, dump a glimpse on it, right?
You have to go to 2.
Now it's like 50. Like, are you going to try to out-combo 50? If you start out-comboing these attacks, then just as easily your opponent pivots to this game plan. Oh, you discarded your hand? Now you can't kill me. I'm going to go for board now.
Yeah.
You get me? So it depends on how your opponent does. If they take it, then you just go for a game. You go, all right, here's my Glimpse Rebirth, right?
Show me how many super combos.
Exactly. Show me how much you have. So that's generally how I like to play it. Going second, it's usually correct to go for game on 4 energy. Not all the time, but usually. Especially if your opponent's used any super combos or they don't have many resources in hand, which sometimes can happen. But yeah, you really just want to build hand advantage with this deck.
And a quick rundown of the other colors against green.
Everything else is a buy. If you don't have, I think actually against green, you just need to awaken, right? You just need to awaken and apply pressure. That's really all that matters. They're not going to kill you fast enough. The only card that's a problem for you is the Android
16 and 18.
Android, yeah, the double striker, because they can maybe kill you with that. They can single strike you. They can kind of do what we're doing in the mirror with all the instant Kamehamehas and gigantic meteors. So just kill it. Kill the Android. They're going to turn it sideways. So the turn it comes down, they're not going to kill you. They're going to maybe get some cards out of your hand. Just kill it. This is the best card for doing that. But you can kill it other ways. They're not going to be able to defend it if you give it minus 15 and then another minus 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's all you really need to worry about in that matchup. In the blue matchup, you should just play it slow. Don't use this leader effect too much. If you're not playing Kefla, definitely do not use the leader effect.
Yeah.
It's useless. And you should just hard cast your things. Like, just play this for 3. Everything that replaces itself, play this for 4. Turn these sideways, bait them into attacking them, let them die, because then you just glimpse them back. All right, so they cannot beat that amount of value. They just cannot.
Yeah,
they are
buy
too
and
slow.
back with glimpse.
They are
play it
too
again.
slow. Yeah,
It's
so they
too
have
much.
to bottom deck all the Keflas, or they just get outgrinded by glimpse. So I mean, you also don't even like if they're playing it slow, where they don't want to attack you and leave you at 5 energy. It's just also free. You just go boom, draw a card. I even played like a Basil. Do this. Who cares? I'll search for my next Kefla. Next turn, I'll do it again. I'll force you to react first, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll just be poking you with my 25s. If you want to attack into them, great. I'm gonna glimpse it back.
Yeah, and at
right?
some point you're gonna put them to 3, and then the same as any other game plan. From
Exactly.
3 is very easy to kill the.
Yeah. So they have to push you also. Like some people will take their life aggressively against blue. You don't even have to. If you're awakened, great. If you're not awakened, who cares? You're gonna outgrind them. And then finally, what's the other deck?
Yellow.
Yellow's another buy. This card just beats them most of the time. They need like an extra card. They have one out to this card, which is an extra card that blows it up. But even then, like they have to play a brick in their deck. This card and plus all the Catapesla and the other Son Gohan just wipe their entire board.
Yeah,
it's really nasty. For them.
That's what I'm saying. These cards are like
chance,
what keep the other colors from being playable.
Their best chance is to dump on a double strike. So they also kind of like if they don't have a rester on board, you can just remove the rester on board and then just play this. As long as they're not at 6 energy, they also can't kill you.
Yeah,
because they have to dump on a double strike. That's really their only chance. Deal you a damage with like a supernova and then go all in on a double strike.
All right. Thank you for the deck profile.
Matchups.
Good showing for our team too, and shout outs to PPG for sponsoring us and all of that. Thank you all for watching.